Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Barbeno's World. Since we've updated to 1.17, I've been super excited to get building farms for all of the new blocks and items. So yeah, I've come up with a plan for how I'm going to build all of these farms. Remember when we did the flower farming area? It was a really nice area that was kind of a combination of building and technical projects. And I think it turned out really well. We just crammed a bunch of farms in a small area and decorated them really nicely. So the plan is I'm going to do that, but for all of the 1.17 farms. And I've actually done a ton of off-camera work on the area. Alright, so here's the spot. It's a 128 by 128 square in the middle of a plains biome out here. This is a completely unique plains biome that I've never been to before, so we should be in 1.17 chunks. And basically what I've done here is I've cleared out the entire area down to Y65, or this block is Y64, and we covered the entire bottom area with grass. I spent so long on this, and quite frankly, the end product isn't that nice looking, but here's how I did it. So the first thing that I did was I picked out an area in a plains biome that was kind of in the middle of a Minecraft map. So I could look at the map and track my progress as I went. And the first thing, obviously you dig out the grass, went down all the way to the bottom of the dirt, but there was a ton of stone left. Like, there are a bunch of hills here. I don't know why I went down this low. But anyways, I thought it would be a cool idea to plant down some moss on top of the stone and dig it out with a hoe, because that's instantaneous, but that ended up being really slow. Definitely would not recommend it unless you have like flying machines to automatically get rid of the moss. So yeah, I ended up mining everything out with a beacon, and then to fill up the floor, I spread the moss with bone meal, and I washed away all of the azalea and moss carpets and the grass with water. So yeah, the end product is this, and I think it's going to be a pretty good canvas to build our new 1.17 farming area. So before we start decorating this place anymore, I do want to start the farms immediately, and I've got a pretty good plan, I think, for a moss farm that I've designed myself. So let's go check that out now. Okay, here we go. Let's check out the farm design. Pretty simple, really. We just have this platform here that is for generating moss on. And behind it, we have these stone generators that are running on a clock. So if we turn this on, it'll constantly be pushing stone out into this area. And as it continues to push, the blocks will start to get broken by the pistons pushing. And that's basically because when you push a moss block with a piston, it just pops off. So we're using the same pistons from the stone generator to generate the stone, push it over, and then break the moss blocks. And then we have this water up here that also has two functions: to wash off all of the grass and azalea bushes and carpets into this water stream. And it also serves to push the moss block items that pop off into this item stream. So let's take a look at what it looks like when it's functioning. So basically the whole thing here is powered by an observer, which is right below one of the moss blocks. So whenever that block changes, either by being pushed over or getting converted to moss, that'll set off this machine, which triggers the water, and it also triggers another bone mealing event. All of that's pretty simple. Now there's just one more redstone circuit to look at. So as the water goes down here, it ends up in this water stream, and everything should go in these hoppers. And these hoppers don't actually get collected, they go into composters. Because this farm is actually, makes a profit of bone meal. So all of the bone meal that gets composted goes into here and back into those droppers. And then they go into this dispenser here that actually bone meals the moss. We also have the circuit here that detects when we're getting backup of bone meal. And this comparator powers these hoppers up here, so that locks them and it prevents any more items from getting sucked up. So Once we have enough bone meal, all of the extra items go into here, which is the collection area. Obviously, since I put some effort into making this farm bone meal efficient so we don't have to input bone meal, it isn't going to be super fast, but since it is bone meal efficient, it won't take any input, so basically we can just stack a bunch of them on top of each other. So I did some testing, and this is about 1,300 items per hour, a significant portion of that being moss blocks and a bit of the extra stuff. And now that we have 3, we should have 3 times those rates. And that should definitely be a solid amount, especially if we're going to AFK in the area that we build it for some other farms. So yeah, this stack of 3 farms is definitely what I want to build. Alright, here we go. I think we should have just about everything. A bunch of redstone in this chest, a little bit of building blocks, and in this chest we've got a ton of buckets, some more redstone, and we've loaded in the schematic here. It looks pretty good. So I guess I'm going to start building now. Unfortunately, we don't have the replay mod yet. Alright, you know how it's done now. This is pretty simple. We just need to quickly build it up based on the schematic. I'm doing layer only mode. So I'll have it rendering only one layer. When I'm done this layer, I'll put it up to this one and start building this up. Alright, I'll see you when this is done. Okay, this is going well. I've finished the first farm module, and I also got in the whole collection system down here. So I can show you how this works a little bit. Seems to be generating stone correctly. Hopefully you can see it bone meal. Here we go. Nice. Washes everything down. And then it'll slowly keep breaking the moss. And it'll probably still be filling up. Oh, nice. We already got some stuff going in. Alright, it's time for another progress update. I'll make this one quick. We have added in another farm at the top. So let's turn it on just to make sure everything's working. Alright, bottom farm is working fine. Top farm also seems to be going well. A little bit of glitchiness because of the schematic. But yeah, everything's working. And as you can tell, everything's going down this hopper and dropper line, and everything should be still getting sorted nicely. Here we go. The third farm is done, and I've actually had it running for a while. Everything is working smoothly. It hasn't run out of bone meal or broken at all. And yeah, all the farms are working super well. You can see in these chests, we've already got a lot of stuff. This is probably from half an hour or less. So that's quite impressive. Okay, now that we're done the farm here, I think I want to try doing a little bit of decoration in this area. And one thing that I think is really going to improve the look is building a big wall around the outside, so it kind of isolates this from the surrounding area, so it feels like a different sort of environment. And I guess I should go over to creative and try to figure out a nice wall design for it. Alright, here's the idea that I have for a wall. I've got some basalt cliffs with some sort of podzol dirt on top. I think this looks pretty nice, and it'll be pretty good and simple and cheap surrounding area for the area. But maybe if this isn't big enough, I have a plan to make a slightly larger area that it covers up. So my idea here is I'll put some saplings down like this, and like this. And then if we put a bunch of them along there, it's not exactly going to look super good, but it'll at least block out the surroundings, so you won't be able to see over the wall very well. And it's just a super cheap and easy way of making a ton of blocks in a wall. So yeah, I think I'm going to need to grab some basalt and some dirt. The trees should automatically convert the podzol, but we're also going to need to set up a farm to get these hanging roots items. Alright, here's the root farm. It was super quick, really, and there's just an observer clock that powers a bunch of dispensers here that bone meal all of the rooted dirt. Yeah, one thing that's funny about these hanging roots is that their items are comically large. Like, it's kind of hilarious. Alright, this farm should definitely supply enough hanging roots to build that wall. So now I should probably go grab some basalt and some dirt and some saplings, and we can start actually doing the surroundings. Well, it obviously takes quite some effort to build, but I've only done a small section, and so far I think it looks very nice. So I guess now I just need to continue with this wall going all the way around. Welcome back, everyone. This has taken me a really long time, but after quite some effort, I've finally finished up with all four sides of the wall. And I've also planted all the trees on top of them. I'm quite happy with how this turned out, and I like the feel that it gives. It does a very good job of obstructing the surroundings, I think, and I think it's a cool idea to experiment with using saplings to place a bunch of blocks for me really fast. Just overall, this gives a very nice vibe when you're inside. It feels like the player is really small. One thing, though, is that this build took a ton of spruce saplings. For each side, it was about 200 saplings. So, yeah, I had to collect all of that from the spruce forest over here, and as you can see, it's not looking too good. But fortunately, we'll probably just be staying inside the wall, so we can't see a thing. Ooh, I also want to mention one cool thing that happened while I was building this. Since we're loading this huge flat area so much, we got a ton of wandering traders spawning, and I finally got one that sells drip leaf. This is one of the really rare new blocks that I've been looking for, and I didn't get in the last episode. But yeah, I finally got it from that wandering trader, and it should be somewhere in these chests. Okay, I found it here in my landscaping shulker box. We have 10 small drip leaf. Unfortunately, as of now, the only way to get these small drip leaves is from the wandering trader. So it's not really sustainable to use them for decoration. But one thing that is nice is that you can actually take one of these small drip leaves. I'll save the rest of them. You take this one, place it down. Maybe it needs to be near water. Alright, now you can hit this with some bone meal, and it turns into a big drip leaf. I'm just going to use this entire stack of bone meal, see how tall it gets. Nice. Now we can also test here the tipping capability of the drip leaf. If we land on top of this, we should be able to see it in action. I feel like that tipped really fast. Okay, we can just break this now and collect everything. Now, before we finish up the episode, I think we should probably be able to build one more farm. This one's going to be for the drip leaf. Since it's so easy to farm it with the bone meal mechanic, we should just be able to set up some sort of system that spams it with bone meal and then breaks it with a piston. Let's do that now. Alright, I'm just gonna try making something pretty simple here. I've got a farm that's designed by Raceworks, and that should be a pretty good design. It's really not too complicated. Literally just this big, so I'll quickly build this, and I might need to grab a few bits of redstone from my base. Alright, here we go then. The farm is up and running. It's pretty similar to that other one over there, I guess. It basically just bone meals the drip leaf with an observer clock and breaks it. One thing that's a little bit annoying is that it can't be run fully AFK, because when you break a drip leaf with a piston, even if it's not the bottom block, the entire thing breaks off. You can just see what happens here. So the thing is, you have to constantly be placing the drip leaf like this. But once you get a few of them in your inventory, then it starts going pretty fast, so I won't need to like AFK this farm or anything, because I can get all that I need in a few seconds. Alright, I think that's gonna have to be just about it. I've spent a super long time building up and starting this new 1.17 area for all of our new farms, and I'm excited to spend some more time in the future adding more farms to the area. But for now, I guess that's all that we have time for. We have built 3 farms, the moss, the hanging roots, and the drip leaf, but there are a lot more farms that we can add. So hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.
Barbeno's World. Barbeno's World.